Today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody has had an awesome week and I hope you're all looking forward to a great weekend. Students, in this class we are looking at an IELTS Band 9 Speaking Part 2 sample answer. That's what we will be working on today, and you might hear my voice is a bit raspy. I'm trying to get over a cold and it's attacked my vocal cords, so bear with me. I hope I will be able to last the class. I'll do my best. Welcome Carolina, our moderator. Hi Jaineel. Hi Sammy. Good to see our members in this class as well. Nisa 31, Allah, Ishmael, Muhammad. Nice to see many students ready to learn. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Check us out there. For the general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. The websites, they look like this, students. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. You can click this big red button to join our premium package. It's just right above my head right there. And it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're an official British Council IELTS test registration center and certified agents. When you have a student account, you have lots and lots of goodies, computer-based practice exams, a full online course, tons and tons of videos, and you also have this student partner speaking and speaking interview practice, so check that out. General IELTS looks like this, green background. Click that big red button to join us there. Thank you for the get well wishes, everyone. I do appreciate that. I believe in the power of the masses, so hopefully your get well wishes will help me to get my voice back for tomorrow's speaking classes as well. All right, so again, websites, tons of great materials, really worth the money that you invest. It doesn't cost a lot. And the good news, everyone, is that we still have our Cyber Monday discount going on. So Cyber Monday, Cyber Day, that's the discount code. So use this discount code Cyber Day when you purchase our premium package, and you'll get 40% off, which is the best deal of the year together with Black Friday. Anton, yeah, I got a cold and it attacked my vocal cords. But yeah, I'll get better. Don't worry. I've got my warm cup of tea here, so hopefully that'll help me through this class. Students, if you have questions, hit me up. Send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. That's my email address. You can ask me about IELTS. You can ask me about language, English. You can ask me how I'm doing if you're curious. We've got a couple more classes tomorrow as well. So we've got Speaking Part 3 for members, and we'll have Speaking Part 3 for everyone. So you'll be doing a lot of the speaking. That's the good news. So you won't have to listen too much to my raspy voice because I will be voice calling students. All right. Let's take a look at today's cue card. So you're in your IELTS speaking and you're doing a good job in Part 1. We had some Speaking Part 1 lessons earlier this week. And Speaking Part 1, it's about 5 minutes. And then after the 5 minutes, the examiner will say, that is the end of Part 1. Now we will continue with Part 2. For Part 2, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these questions, think about your answers, and then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Talk about an object you use to stay safe. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. And then you prepare for 1 minute. It's a very important minute, and you have to know what to do. You have to use this 1 minute very, very, very wisely. Don't just go, oh, I know an object that I use to stay safe, my helmet, and then you start talking about it. Not a good idea, okay? You need to do a little bit of smart planning, and you need to know what to do. So the first step when you see the questions, okay, is read the questions carefully. Okay, so read them carefully, and very importantly, read the topic statement twice. Okay, so let's do that now. Okay, so talk about an object you use to stay safe. Talk about an object you use to stay safe. What is this item? Where did you get it? When and where do you use it? What could happen if you do not use this object? You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare what you are going to say. Okay, so we've carefully read the question. Now, step 2, okay, is to identify the category. Okay, so in speaking part 2, you're talking about a person, a place, an object, an event, or an idea. Okay, in this case, obviously, we're talking about an object. Okay, the question says, talk about an object that you use to stay safe. Now, when you tell somebody about an object, what should you do? So what kind of information should you include when you're telling a person about an object that you use to stay safe? Okay. Mi Yen says you should talk about its appearance. Yeah, what it looks like. Absolutely. Okay. And Mi Yen, the order is important. So after the appearance, you should talk about the origin, where you got it from. Okay. And 31 Allah says the cost. The cost would also be a part of the origin. Okay. MC with me if you want says you want to talk about its function. Yeah. Okay. So how does it work, right? What does it do? Okay. And then you want to talk about its significance. Yeah, why is it important for you? Okay. In that order. Okay, so the order does matter. 1, appearance. What does it look like? Let me see it in my head. Very good. Sammy says the significance. Yeah. 2, where does it come from? Where do you get it? What's the origin? Who gave it to you? Where did you buy it? Right? How much did it cost? The origin. 3, its function. Okay. How do you use it? What does it do? Okay. What's its function? Significance. Why is it important? How does it help you? How does it help society? What does it mean to you? Is it sentimental? Does it remind you of someone? Right? So what's the significance? You want to talk about that. Okay? So all of those are important. Okay. So at this point in step 2, we've identified the category. We know it's an object. And we should think of one other point here. We should think of the tense. Okay? Based on the question. So based on the question, you should figure out what is the most common tense or tenses that you're going to use in your response, okay? I know that many of you learned the past, present, future, like talk about it in the past, the present, and the future. And that doesn't always work, okay? So be careful with that. Some questions are specifically asking you about the present. Some questions are specifically asking about the past, some about the future. So if you talk about the past, present, and future, no matter what the question is, you could do really bad or badly, okay? So be really, really careful, okay? All right. So here we go. Talk about an object you use to stay safe, okay? Let's see what it is. So Mian says we would probably use a lot of the present simple and present perfect. Yeah, because it's something that we use now to stay safe, okay? So present perfect. And Janelle says conditionals. And I agree, Janelle, that's a very good insight, conditionals, because we have a lot of this, if I don't use this object or if I don't have it with me, this could happen, right? So Janelle, I agree that conditionals is very, very important, okay? All right. So, there we go. That's the tense. So we have the tenses figured out. And of course, this only takes you a couple seconds, right? Like you shouldn't be thinking about this for the whole 1 minute. When you practice this, when you know this, you know that when you talk about an object, you want to talk about its appearance, its origin, its function, its significance. When you read this question carefully, you realize, okay, I got to use a lot of present tense, present perfect, have been, has been, and then using a lot of the conditionals as well. Okay, step 3. What do I do in the next step? This is a very important one, and this is where a lot of students make a big, big mistake. So what should I do in this next next step? Okay, and this is what you need to do before you start talking, okay? So Mian says, think about 2 to 3 items. Yeah, so think about 2 to 3 possible answers. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So select 2 to 3 different topics and then choose the best one. Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes many candidates make is they just pick one and then they start talking about it and they realize that they made a bad choice. They have difficulty speaking about it. They don't know enough vocabulary about that topic. So be really careful, okay? So think of 2 to 3 possible options and choose the one that you think is original, easy to talk about, lots of content, okay? So that's what you want to choose. Okay, let's have some ideas. So I think we had some ideas here. Masa says emergency supplies. Masa, emergency supplies is too general. What do you mean, like emergency food or a first aid kit? So what are you thinking about? Okay. Bahit Georgian says a Glock 17, so like a gun. And yeah, I mean, in some places, right? For example, I have a rifle with me when I go hiking in the forest with my friends or when I go hunting, and it helps me stay safe because we have bears and cougars on Vancouver Island where I live. So some of you think gun is funny and you're thinking, oh, well, other people in dangerous parts of the world, which is possible, like if I lived in the favelas of Brazil, yeah, a gun, you know, it's not, I wouldn't recommend it, but that might be something there that saves a person's life, right? So, and when you're in the forest in certain dangerous parts of the world where there are big animals, then you might have a rifle with you for self-protection, right? Like if you're doing a safari in Africa, right? Maybe you're not hunting, you're not going to shoot a lion, but if the lion's going to try to eat you, then you might want to use it, right? Now, if you choose something like a gun, make sure that you can talk about it because it could be very complicated to explain these ideas and it could be complicated to explain how it works, okay? A lot of you might know the words gun, but you might not know the components of the gun, of how it actually fires and works, okay? So be very careful. Try to think ahead, okay? All right. Okay, wallet. Sammy says goggles. Okay. Sound Captain says car belt. It's actually called a seat belt. Okay. So again, if you don't know the right words, careful not to choose that. Okay. All right. Okay. Blueberry says an amulet. If you're superstitious and you believe that, you wear a cross, you're religious, and you believe that that helps you to stay safe, it's possible. You could talk about that, absolutely. BG Takni says helmet. Okay. Alma says a phone. 31 Allah says a bulletproof vest. Yeah, if you're a police officer, for example, make sure you know how to talk about it. The material used in bulletproof vest is called Kevlar. Okay, so depending on your profession, right? So if you're a police officer, it could be a bulletproof vest. If you're a construction worker, it could be a steel-toed shoes. Okay. Me says a surgical mask. Okay. Anirban says a Band-Aid. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, safety shoes. Yeah, those are probably called boots. Okay, so boots or steel-toed boots. Okay. BG Tani says safety kit. Students, I'm going to teach you a very important word here. Okay, it's not called a safety kit. Someone might figure out what you mean by that, but it's called a first aid kit. And I'm going to teach you another word here. A defibrillator. Maybe like this, defibrillator. Not sure of the spelling of that word, defibrillator. Anyway, it's pronounced defibrillator, used in case of heart attack. Maybe somebody can help me with the spelling there of defibrillator. And another one that you want to know is life vest and lifeboat. Okay, I know that many people travel the world, and there are definitely a few words that you should know in English that could really be useful in certain situations. Okay. Anton says it's called a defibrillator. Defibrillator. There we go. Defibrillator. Thank you for that spelling. Okay. Yeah, so first aid kit, defibrillator, and life vest, lifeboat. Those are definitely words that everybody should know when you're traveling the world, because you never know, and hopefully you don't get into a sticky situation. But if you do get into a sticky situation, these words can save your life. Okay. All right. So know these words. Okay. All right, let's take one of these. Let's go with the surgical mask. So surgical mask might not be an original answer these days, but I think a lot of you will be able to speak about this. So let's go with a surgical face mask. Okay. All right, so what does it look like? Okay, so appearance. Can you describe what a surgical face mask looks like? Okay. Yeah, so Jabroni, it's not kneecap, you're right. It's called a knee pad. So something that protects your, let me see, your elbow or your knee is elbow pad or knee pad, okay? If you're playing sports. If you're playing soccer or football, you have what's called a shin guard that protects the lower part of your foot, okay? All right, so surgical face mask, yeah, it would be common, but we're going to do this one for today because I think a lot of students will be able to talk about it. So let's go with a surgical face mask today. So I'm just going to choose one here. So what does it look like? Okay. All right. So Janil, it has 3 layers, but try to describe it in a way that's easy for me to imagine it. Okay. Yeah. So Sammy says a piece of cloth. Okay. It's a special cloth. Okay. Rectangular shape. Yeah. Okay. Very good. BG Tani, thank you for that super chat donation. That's really cool of you. I appreciate that. Okay. BTS Love says it's black color. So it's various colors. It can be black. It can be blue, right? Okay. Layers. Yeah, it can have 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers, depending on what you're getting. Okay. Good. Okay. Mian says some strings. Yeah, and when you're thinking strings, Mian, try to take it a step further and try to think about it as elastic strings. Or I could even add one more word here, soft elastic strings, right? So that they don't harm your ears after long time use or after using them for many hours, right? Okay. Sammy says it's about 5 inches long or 5 inches wide, 6 inches long. Yeah. Okay. So 10 centimeters by 20 centimeters, roughly, right? Okay. Very good. Maybe some of you said metal wire. Now here I'll teach you a word. Contour. The word contour means to take up the shape. So when you can move it around your nose to take up the shape of the bridge of your nose, that's called contour. It contours around your nose. Okay, so you have that metal wire. Okay, origin, where do you get it? So give me some ideas. Where do I get this surgical mask? Okay, so hospitals for sure. Okay, convenience stores. What else? Medical stores. Pharmacy, very good. Bakhtor John Tohirov. Yeah, sorry about my bad pronunciation of your name. Pharmacy. Yeah, drugstore. Right, is another way to say that. Okay. And you can just say many places these days, right? And so just about every place has it. Okay. Yeah, Murad, that's right. Almost anywhere. Okay, function. What is it used for? So what do we use it for? And don't say something obvious like to stop ourselves from getting sick. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me. But yeah, it's to protect yourself. So Anton, you're going to remember that. So don't write that down. Okay. From bacteria, virus. Okay. Let's see if we can get some better vocabulary here. Filter air. Yeah, that's a good one. COVID-19, sure. Okay. Yeah, it's filtering the air. All of the different kinds of like bacteria or virus or microbes that can make you sick. What are they called? One word. It starts with a P. P-A. Oop, I even gave you the third. Yeah, very good, Sammy. Pathogens. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, pathogens are bacteria, virus, all kinds of particles, if you will, that can make you sick. Okay, so pathogens, very nice. That's the kind of vocabulary or lexical resource that will give you that high band score, right? So pathogens, and it doesn't just protect you, but you protect others, right? Like right now, obviously I'm going to wear a face mask everywhere I go because I don't want to give this kind of cough that I have or whatever's attacking my vocal cords to other people. So you protect others, okay? In fact, I don't know, many people don't realize this, but the idea of masks is not really so much to protect yourself as it is to protect others. So the better function of masks is to protect others from a person who's already sick, okay? So when a surgeon or when a nurse is wearing a mask, oftentimes it's not to protect themselves, but they're protecting the patients who are very vulnerable just in case they have some kind of bacteria or virus, right? So it's protecting others, okay? It's good to remember that, all right? And you might want to remember this vocabulary as well. Airborne illness or infected saliva, right? So that's basically what we're dealing with here. So something that's transmitted through our breath, through the air, okay? And also dust or allergies, right? Okay, chemicals as well, right? Okay, and when you're thinking about the function, you're also thinking about how to use it. Okay, so how do you use the mask? Okay, how do you use a surgical face mask? This is a great question. There's a lot of debate these days among people about how to use a surgical face mask, and I see lots of good ideas. So some of you are saying smells can be also. So yeah, okay. Thank you for the spelling there, Nishil. Okay, so how do I use a face mask? Okay. So Abdul Rahman says, we just put it on. Anton says, isn't it? The mask should cover from the bridge of the nose to the chin, right? So you pull it apart, it covers from your chin to the bridge of your nose. Right. That's where a lot of people got into trouble because they have their noses hanging out of their masks or they have like their lower lip hanging out, right? So you have all these funny memes and things about how not to wear masks. So you pull it apart, okay? And then you contour to the nose and place the plastic around ears, blue side out. There's a debate there. One of my friends says the blue side's supposed to go in. That's what the nurses say. I don't know. Check the instructions on the box, okay? In the IELTS, the truth doesn't matter. So if you have the blue side out, the white side in, I think most masks are that way. One of my friends disagrees. He says, no, the blue side's supposed to go in. It's the white side that goes out because it filters one way, right? So there is a little bit of a debate on which side is in, which side is out. Okay, A.B. Booba says, yeah, you need to pinch around the nose. Okay. All right, good. So that's the function. Okay, wash hands. Yeah, very good. Someone says wash hands before putting on. And don't touch, right? So now some of you are probably thinking, well, Adrian, that's a lot of notes. Like I only have 1 minute, right? So how do I do this? You only write down like the important parts, right? So you might only write down something like this. So don't write down ideas that you're going to remember, okay? Just write down ideas that will help you speak more, okay? So maybe something like that. So these parts that I'm highlighting, okay? All right. Bear with me. My Hopefully my voice will make it to the end of the class. I think I've got about 10 minutes left on my voice, so it's a countdown, but bear with me, okay? All right, so something like that, okay? These highlighted parts, you might not write everything down, okay? All right, significance. So why is it important to avoid getting sick? Obviously, you might not write that down. Okay, so to avoid illness, to slow a pandemic, right? To save lives, right? Some people are very vulnerable to disease and illness. To save lives, improve quality of life, right? So there's a lot of reasons for its significance, right? Avoiding transmission of viruses, yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. Ali says avoid infections. Okay, now we want to have our first sentence. Okay, so before your 1 minute is up, have your first sentence ready. That's so that when the examiner says your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking, you can start talking right away. So it's very important. And I even recommend students to write this down. So I'm going to write this down. Write down your first sentence, everyone, okay? So here we go. All right, there is my first sentence. And the first sentence answers the part 2 cue card very accurately, very directly. Me key. So me key why? Don't use the word thing, okay? Say item or object, okay? But don't use the word thing. So students, avoid the word thing. Atya Toolbari says, there are a lot of things which we can use for safety, but today I will discuss about a mask. Atya, it's not a high band start because you're not directly answering the question and it's not clear what kind of a mask are you talking about. There's lots of different kinds of masks, right? So be specific. Sammy says, the most useful object that I use these days is a surgical mask, which is from Pfizer. Sammy, try not to repeat words even though they're different word form, like useful and use, okay? And try to include safety, so something to stay safe or to protect myself. So the idea of safe or stay safe should be in that first sentence, like protect, okay? Rashika says, a surgical mask is an object which I have been using as a safety device for the past 2 years. Rashika, don't repeat the word object, okay? So avoid word repetition, students. So one more time, Rashika, it's a good start. Just don't use the word object. So a surgical mask is an object that I have been using as a safety device for the past 2 years, okay? All right. And then once you have this first sentence, so the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. And you say, an item that I've been frequently using these days to stay safe is the surgical face mask. Then basically you just go through 1, the appearance, 2, the origin, 3, the function, and 4, the significance, okay? And that's it. And so let me do this. As I'm losing my voice, I want to try to get through this with you, but keep writing, students. So I'll check what you're doing, okay? So this is a piece of medical equipment that is made of 2-ply medical 2-ply special cloth. About 10 centimeters wide and 20 centimeters long, with a soft string on either end. Okay. And a piece of wire. It comes in a variety of colors, the most common being blue and black. Okay. A person can get a medical mask from just about anywhere these days, but usually they are sold in pharmacies and medical supply stores. Okay. So again, you're just building momentum and fluency. So follow with me here, students. Turtel says, not only has this item been sold at several supermarkets, but it has also been provided at medical institutions as well as pharmacies. Okay, that's good. Okay. Ali says it's a 3-layered piece of cloth that comes in a variety of colors. It has 2 elastic strings which perfectly fit around the ears, not behind the ears, Ali, around the ears. Okay. Sammy says it's blue color, 10 by 20 centimeters, having 2 tags to cover my mouth and nose. It has 3 layers, a special surgical cloth, and it costs around $1. I purchased it at Apollo Pharmacy. Very good. Okay. I usually buy it bulk in a box that has 50 units, and it costs around $15 for the bundle. Okay. All right. The correct way to wear a medical mask is to stretch it around the chin and the bridge of the nose, placing the elastic bands around the ears. Importantly, the wire at the top part of the mask should be pinched to contour the nose so that the breath goes through the mask. Okay. All right, so here we go. Looking at this from the top, again, this is speaking, just repeat after me. So an item that I have been frequently using these days to stay safe is a surgical face mask. This is a piece of medical equipment that is made of 2-ply special cloth, about 10 centimeters wide and 20 centimeters long, with a soft string on either end, and a piece of wire. It comes in a variety of colors, the most common being blue and black. A person can get a medical mask from just about anywhere these days, but usually they are sold in pharmacies and medical supply stores. I usually buy a bulk, the box that has 50 units, and it costs around $15 for the bundle. The correct way to wear a medical mask is to stretch it around the chin and the bridge of the nose, and placing the elastic band around the ears. Importantly, The wire at the top part of the mask should be pinched to contour the nose so that the breath goes through the mask. In this way, the mask protects me from pathogens such as bacteria and flu. And it also protects others in case I'm sick, like I am right now. Ugh. In addition, it also protects me from some pollutants, potentially harmful chemicals, and allergens, as I'm allergic to cat hair. Okay, or cat fur, you can say. All right. So again, all I'm doing is using my notes and I'm going through appearance, function, and now I'm going through the significance, so why it's important to me. Of course, these days, many people are wearing face masks because of the COVID pandemic. So these masks help to spread this disease, which allows scientists more time to come up with solutions to save lives. Okay? And at this point, I would look at the questions to make sure you answered all of them. Okay? It's very important. If you don't answer all the questions, you'll lose marks. So what is this item? Where did you get it? When and where do you use it? What could happen if you do not use this object? So these last two questions, I haven't really answered perfectly yet. So I might want to do that. Okay, so like others, I use a medical mask anytime I leave my home, especially when I'm in enclosed places like my work, shopping mall, and school. Okay. If I don't, or if I wouldn't use the mask, I place myself in danger to catch an illness, and this could even be fatal. Okay. All right, and then I stop because that's about 2 minutes and you have to be fluent. So as long as you're fluent, as long as you have all of these elements, as long as you've answered all the questions on the card, you should be okay and you're going to get a great band score. Now students, I'm using some new vocabulary here, so if you're catching some new vocabulary, write it down and learn it, okay? Azu says, get well soon, sir. Thank you. All right. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Let's look at the card and let's read the response, okay? So here we go, everyone. So this is the card. Talk about an object you use to stay safe. What is this item? Where did you get it? When and where do you use it? What could happen if you do not use this object? Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking. An item that I have been frequently using these days to stay safe is the surgical face mask. This is a piece of medical equipment that is made of 2-ply special cloth, about 10 centimeters wide, 20 centimeters long, with a soft string on either end and a piece of wire. It comes in a variety of colors, the most common being blue and black. A person can get a medical mask, from just about anywhere these days, but usually they are sold in pharmacies and medical supply stores. I often buy it bulk in a box that has 50 units, and it costs around $15 for the bundle. The correct way to wear a medical mask is to stretch it around the chin and the bridge of the nose, and placing the elastic bands around the ears. Importantly, the wire at the top part of the mask should be pinched to contour the nose so that the breath goes through the mask. In this way, the mask protects me from pathogens like bacteria and the flu, and it also protects others in case I'm sick. In addition, it also protects me from pollutants, potentially harmful chemicals, allergens. I'm allergic to cat fur. And of course, these days, many people are wearing face masks because of COVID pandemic. So these masks help to spread the disease, which allows scientists to come up with solutions to save lives. Like others, I use medical masks anytime I leave the home, especially when I'm in enclosed spaces like my work, shopping, mall, school. If I wouldn't use the mask, I could be in danger to catch an illness, or it could even be fatal. Okay, so before my voice completely goes, because I can feel it, it's like a ticking time bomb, I'm going to stop there. Practice with other topics. So if you chose another topic, like if you chose work boots, gloves, goggles, try this one again, and you can send me your answer to my email, and I can give you a score estimate. Just record it as an MP3. Okay, so MP3. Send me an MP3 recording of your answer, and I'll give you a score estimate. So I'll let you know how you did. And hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have my voice back. And tomorrow we'll do speaking part 3 for both classes, and I'll voice call some people. So hopefully I'll have a little bit of a better voice for you. Thank you so much, Carolina, for moderating. Thank you, members, for your support. Much love to all of you. Everyone, do check out our website, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS, and use the code CYBERDAY for that 40% discount, okay? So websites, general IELTS, and academic IELTS. Click those big red buttons right there, okay? Have a great rest of your day, and stay safe, stay strong. Have a great weekend. I'm Adrian, signing out from Victoria for now. Bye, everyone.